All right, guys. John, I'll grab you. Ben, let me scoot you over
You
that.
need to get bigger or something, John.
Huh?
So you need to get bigger or something so you stop being a dummy for
He's like the perfect size, right? So, today, guys, we're going to talk about some positional odds and ends and a really cool way to set up your choke. That's a little bit fancier, but, man, it's like such a high percentage transition if you get this down. But we're going to talk about something first that is just a general tool in this situation. In fact, we're going to turn so that we're facing that. Okay. So we start from one of our drill situations. Okay. I have my seatbelt. He goes to the underhook side, and I made the dreaded mistake of letting him get out enough that he's now. So retract just a little bit. Let's go all the way back. Yep. And I just want you to lay on this arm. Right. To where he's now on this arm, and then I just want you to rotate just enough that your chest is facing the ceiling directly. Perfect. And I'm here, and I'm in this situation, oh man, geez, I'm not gonna get up to my mount, right? We talked about the situation, okay? And this is a scenario that people are gonna force. So I want us to end up here, but this time I'm gonna keep my seatbelt, okay? So let's say we go back, I have my seatbelt, he goes out to the side, and now I'm here, and like, I still have sort of a positional control, but I cannot get on top. There's going to be moments where you're in a back mount situation where you either have a choke, you have a seatbelt, you have something. They manage to make this rotation happen. They're facing the ceiling, their back is going to the floor, and you're in a situation where they're likely, if he continues, basically what he needs to do at this point is just rotate his hips, and at that point he can turn in and get on top. Yeah, sure. So just keep hipping out, right? And then he's going to drive right up on top, and you're going to lose this position. And everyone's going to laugh at you. In this case, for Ben, his mother will actually be here to laugh at him. Like, I usually say this hyperbolically, but this is like the first time that's ever been the actual literal case. Let's do it a little bit this way, please. Yeah. So, I'm going to show you guys something cool. Stupid, simple, cool to do. So I have my seatbelt. He starts going to the underhook side. He gets his back to the floor. I know that he wants to turn to face me. All right? John, turn to face me. Go ahead. Anytime. Go ahead. Boom. Okay? So, the first piece of the puzzle that we're going to work with today, guys, is understanding that this is where we get like conceptual, right? Like the universe crackles, you know. Hooks are not just a mechanism of the feet coming inside and controlling the hips on the inside. Hooks are a mechanism of controlling the hips. Period. End of sentence. So whatever I have to do with these hooks to control the hips, sorry, figuring that. Whatever I have to do to control the hips with these feet, that is the mechanism that these hooks are designed to do, right? So our first application, say I have you back. We're here, and I'm sorry, let's scoot a little bit forward. Cool. He's going to the underhook side. He's doing everything correctly, and I cannot retract this in time. If I try, so really slow, I want you to turn your hips over like we did. If I try to retract and get here, he's going to turn his hips over. He's going to win that fight. Percentage-wise, he's going to win that fight a lot of the time. So I'm not going to play that game. Instead, as he goes out, if I feel like that's the fight we're having, I immediately retract my hook from the top and go behind the knee. I'm telling you, if I just hold this again, if he keeps shrimping away, he's not going to get it. He's not going to be able to turn into me. Yep, go ahead. Just keep it off the mat. He can't turn into me. Let's say we scoot back a little. So, and let me get that leg out there. Once I'm here, I can stall him out. That's easy enough. I want to turn this into position. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to lift his leg to the ceiling, and I'm going to make his knee touch the mat on the other side. You guys see that? From here, it's that same transition. This bottom leg hops up, catch my seatbelt, step over, right back, floor back now. Very simple transition, okay? Likewise, we say, have your back, and this time, I have my quad check, right? We talked about what he wants to do, right? He wants to put his shoulder blades on the mat, he wants the base of the turn to face you. So say you do that, John?
I'm going to the choke drive.
Yep, yep, exactly. Right. Well, I screwed up, right? We know that I wanted to kick him in the armpit and post my foot, kick him in the armpit, and transition to my bow and arrow choke. But man, I'm not going to get here from here, right? Look at this. Boom. Does that make sense, guys? Pretty simple. And again, it's just applying basic mechanics. I'm using my elevator hook essentially like you would use a butterfly hook, right? Like, but instead of on the inside of me, I'm going to be outside of the cabin terminal. So, Tony, I'll grab you if you don't mind. So we're just going to start with that. And then I'm going to show you guys a way to turn this into a pretty gnarly choke zipper. Let me scoot us a little bit to the right. Okay, so number one, first scenario, I have my seatbelt. Tony's going to the underhook side. He's making the right decisions. He's putting his back to the floor. And we get to this moment where, man, my arm is stuck under here. And again, if he keeps turning to face me and I keep working to retract my arm, keep going, Tony, he's going to win that scramble. His hips are in a better position to get back to his knees than mine are to be able to get to mine. So as he goes, right, I feel I'm losing this fight. He keeps trying to turn. Keep going, Tony. I hook behind the knee and I lift it up. I don't want to be passive with this, right? If I let it chill, then he's just chilling here. I want to lift his leg up. Now, my transition, I want to basically lift his knee up to the ceiling and over to the mat on the other side. I'll post this hand on the floor. Knee slides up to his head. Catch my seatbelt. Step over. And the same back take that we've been working. Same exact movement at that point. That's one. Number two, say I had back right here. I made the mistake. Had my clock choke. Let me actually reposition this a little. I had my clock choke. Man, I had this done, but then Tony was smart. He went to the choke side. He put his head to the floor. Now I'm not going to finish this clock choke, and I can't get my leg out for my bow and arrow transition. So, same mechanism. Lift the leg up, turn him over, knee pillow. From here, guys, I get this leg over, and you can either keep the lapel and actually just work a clock choke from here, or blade of the wrist is where I usually like to go from this. And then when I have the blade of the wrist, guys, I want to bring his elbow to his ear and finish. Four, guys, look at this. Boom. Kata hajime right there. So all three of those chokes, I can basically use a clock choke. I would say, and Tony, you were in there a second, I would say the clock choke feels the least likely to get a quick finish.
That bow and arrow's there all day, though.
That bow and arrow there, that one's really tight. It's also not very pleasant on the shoulder. Yeah. And then the kata hajime is always accessible anytime, especially because he's loaded my hips, right? So remember, what are the principles of kata hajime? The lower they are to my hips, I'm going to grab it one more time, just to reiterate that idea. If he's up here, we'll turn this way a little. If he's up here, and I get my choke grip, and I want to try to move his elbow. Tony, do not let me move your elbow. Ah! Very difficult. If he scoots all the way down, and he's really low, the same level of resistance, please, right? Just going to get that away from his body. Because now his shoulders, his elbows and shoulders are closer to my center of gravity. So I can use more of my body against him. If I'm reaching away from me, it's like, I don't know, what do you think? Like, I'm not a scientist. How much force do you think someone can generate with their elbow going down? Like from this. Think about it, imagine if I had a weight, like a tension band here. How much resistance? Probably quite a bit, yeah? So imagine now, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to pick that up from out here. That would be stupid, right? That would not work at all. But if I was here, yeah, well, I could do that all day. So think about, you have to be low in your hips with the kata hajime. So, does that make sense, guys? Yeah? Let's part not work out. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, John.